Hey, what's going on, everybody? How are you people doing? So it's official, ladies and gents. Manchester United have sacked Gunnar Solskjaer as their manager. And, the question right now is this going to convince Zidane to come over and manage Manchester United or no? Because as you people know, the reason why I think Ole just was not able to take Manchester United to new heights is because of one simple thing. The players just became disillusioned with his system and his coaching philosophy. And when there are reports that Ole loses the Manchester United locker room, then sooner or later, this is going to be an indication that Ole is eventually going to get sacked. And sure enough, it happened today after their 4-1 humiliating defeat to Watford. And the question right now is, will United be able to convince Zidane to come over to the club? Because, obviously there's been three managers that have been linked with Manchester United: Conte, Ten Hag, and Zidane. But obviously, I think out of all those three, Zidane is the best option, not only because he has the coaching experience, not only because of what he was able to do with Real Madrid and utilize the Real Madrid squad, but he was also able just to take Real Madrid to new heights. So it's like, if he can do that with Real Madrid, then why can't he do that with Manchester United as well? Because if you actually sit there and think about it, I personally think that the players are definitely going to be able to be more motivated to play under Zidane if the board somehow manages to convince Zidane to manage the club, because that's realistically the best option. Because obviously, if I was Zidane, I would personally take the Manchester United job. Now, also, there are conflicting reports on the other hand that Zidane apparently, wants to take a break from managing because of what he did with Real Madrid. I mean, come on, he guided them to 3 straight Champions League titles. So I personally believe that at this point, Zidane just, can decide on his own if he wants to manage United or if he doesn't want to do that. Because as you people know, Zidane right now, hands down, he's the best manager in the world. In terms of club football, no other manager has accomplished the treble with, the 3 straight Champions League titles with Real Madrid other than Zidane. Because, name me a manager that's done that in the 20th century, because no other manager did that obviously, than Zidane. And especially look at this Manchester United squad. They have the talent right there. I mean, Luke Shaw, you got Bruno Fernandes, Ronaldo, and it's like, with this current talent, I definitely imagine that Zidane is going to carry this team to at least a Champions League final, if he does choose to manage the club. And the thing with Ole right now is that, well, I think that with Ole's philosophy is just that the players just, grew tired of it, and, opposing teams just figure out how to stop Ole. And when you combine all of that, then that just goes to show you that the manager's tactics and his philosophy at the club just completely went down the toilet. And that's the best way that I can describe, Ole's tactics recently with Manchester United, is that they just really just went down the drain, just because opposing teams were able to figure him out on how to stop what Manchester United were going to do, how they were going to attack and all that stuff. And sure enough, it was official. So now, obviously, Ole's biggest achievement with Manchester United was that, Champions League upset against PSG a couple of years back. Now, one thing I will give Ole is that upset against PSG. That was his biggest accomplishment with the club, was just being able to upset PSG, because that's one memory I have of Ole's tenure so far with Manchester United. But other than that, really, despite that, I do think that Ole's always going to be a club legend, because that's not even debatable. Ole, he is still a legend at Manchester United. At the end of the day, he's a club legend. But it's just, as manager, it was time for him to get sacked. It just, unfortunately, just came down to, his time not being able to his tenure not being able to be extended. Because obviously, if only Manchester United if only his tactics would have worked, then he still would have been managing the club. But unfortunately, man, it was just time for Ole to hand over the managerial reins to somebody else. And I'm convinced, or I'm wondering, if Manchester United are going to hire a manager instantly, or if they're going to name an interim manager until they are able to find somebody that can, that can take over the reins, left by Ole. So obviously, man, nothing much else to say really in this video, except that, despite Ole's near failure as manager at Manchester United, he still did a lot of great things for them as a player. But it's just, just because you're a club legend does not mean you're going to instantly succeed as manager, I mean, it's just absolutely, I feel like it's very rare that, Zidane, it's just a rare story of how Zidane was a club legend at Real Madrid. And then, he made the transition to manager, and it just worked to near perfection. So, I feel like that in football, it's possibly a pretty slim percentage that, just because you're a club legend, you're going to succeed as club manager as well. But in Zidane's case, man, he's been able to do it, and that nothing is impossible. But unfortunately, man, Only time will tell if United are going to hire Zidane. But I mean, come on, if I was Zidane, dude, I would absolutely pounce upon this opportunity, because not only would this give Manchester United a chance to be Champions League contenders, but they could finally be restored. That they could finally restore their club to Premier League, to their old glory days, like how they did under Sir Alex Ferguson. Because I think that if Manchester United were to hire Zidane, then he would definitely be able to be the manager that helped the club reach glory, like how Sir Alex did. But yeah, man. I mean, if I was Zidane, I would just take the job, man. Seriously, Zidane to United would absolutely make sense, in my honest opinion, because out of Conte and Ten Hag and Zidane, out of all those three, Zidane, I would take Zidane in a heartbeat. Like, come on now, look what he did with Madrid. Even after Cristiano Ronaldo left, he still proved that his tenure at Madrid was not just because of that his successful tenure as manager was not just because of Ronaldo, but because he's just a tactical genius, and it's like that's something that United really need, because he's definitely going to be able to get the most out of all the players. So, anyways, guys, that's the video here. Let me know what you thought about it in the comment section below. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace.